Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Thank you.
Good, good. How's life treating you at the moment?
Life's good. Like I've settled down, got myself a lovely woman, and yeah, I'm blessed really because I'd never thought I'd fall on my feet like I have with her. She's done like drama. She's done like hassle. She just when you meet a bird and you don't text back and they give you ag and mate, she's so laid back and chilled. Yeah, life's good.
Life's
Life's
good
good.
at the moment. How
Yeah.
did you get into boxing?
Um, I was obviously I was born disabled and
Yeah, yeah.
having lots and lots of operations through my childhood. Um, we had a sort of bad upbringing. I went to then my
Can we
parents.
elaborate on that, please? Because I was going to touch upon the disability like a little bit further, but I just wanted to get a quick like how you got started and how was life for you growing up?
It was tough. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, it's tough." And give the sob story. I don't want no like sob stories, no bullshit like that. I just say how it is. My dad was a hard man back in the day, and he had a reputation. And we used to drive around in the car with my dad, and people, they're tooting and putting their hand up. Fuck me. I said, like, a lot of people, like, and I always wanted to be known, like my dad, if you like. In Me and my dad fall out all the time, as parent, as you do with your
Yeah.
parents. You always have like qualms on what's what and this and that. And obviously, I'm I think I'm always right. Like you'd think you're always right. And you never sort of take experience from your parents and say, well, they've been there, they've done it. They're trying to lead us to good things. And yeah, it was hard growing up, having my dad as a hard man like he was. The reputation, because you'd always get someone out there someone grown up thinking they're better, and then they have kids, and the kids always want to fight you,
Was
this and
that
that.
hard for you? Did your dad's reputation transcend into like the 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 use of the area also, like the 17, 18 year olds? Was he known amongst those?
Yeah.
How did that impact you as a youth and growing up as a teenager?
Well, I was always like, I was different, man. I was like, I always say I'm different. I'm a different character, but I've got my dad's temperament. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? His temper and how he is and the way people look at you. It was hard growing up, living up to my dad's reputation because I didn't get time to build my own reputation in that sense. It was all about, oh, that's Lester Deakin's boy. Blah. And if they didn't like my dad or they were scared of my dad, they wouldn't sort of come across that way to sort of their kids,
Mhm.
and then so their kids would sort of take out on me, and I'd end up battering their kids. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it was a bit like growing up with someone with a bit of a background. It was hard, you know. He was in and out of prison, and you know, he took he kidnapped a social worker years ago, and at the time, years ago, when he hung a social worker out the window by his tie. It was breaking news. It would go on TV
Uh,
as breaking news. This was happening. So yeah, it was hard. Like me waffling on, it was hard to grow up in a sort of scene where I had my dad's rep to live up to.
was your dad a big man? Was he?
He was. Listen, that's me blowing my own trumpet, my family's trumpet, but he was a bit of a geezer, and if I'm honest, he's calmed down a lot now. He's settled and whatever. But yeah, he was a bit of a geezer, and people would go to him with their problems, and because my dad didn't give a fuck, a bit like me. I don't care. So yeah, it was a bit of a big name.
Can you remember any? Sorry,
Yeah. Go
sorry.
on.
No, sorry. You go on.
No, it's through our area. In an area, you make a name for yourself. That's it.
Mhm.
Everyone's either scared of you or they're gonna. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
just yeah. So
competition is
yeah, of course.
not to focus solely on your dad, but can you ever remember a incident where you'll never ever forget that as a kid growing up? Was that the window
Um,
one?
there was a few. I mean, when I remember the situation with my mum and my dad. They were in a pub,
Hmm.
and there was this other big name in there, and his wife, and I don't remember it. I remember being there, but I was young. But my mum glassed the woman in the face, and my dad smacked the pool cue around the geezer's head. Um, I know the woman now. I'm not going to mention her
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you grow up. Do you know what I mean? But back when, because my mum and dad were young parents, so that's what it was. But yeah, that was the time. Yeah, my dad smacked the porky around his head, and it's a massive scuffle. But like I say, it's only my mum and dad telling me that what had happened
Hmm.
later on in life that I know that happened. But obviously, I vaguely remember, but not as much.
Yeah. So how did you get into boxing, Robin?
Um, Again, my dad's reputation. I always wanted to be remembered and known. Not so much as a hard man and a bully like my dad was.
Hmm.
I wanted to be known, maybe in a good way,
Doing
but
something good with your life.
yeah, like you know where people respect you, but not scared of you. They
Look up to
respect.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Not as much as you can't look up to someone like me, but because I wasn't the best. But yeah, it's where
Ethics,
someone
though. They could look up to you for work rate, they could look up to you for having a disability and still overcoming the odds. There's many things that a that a
that's
teenager could look up to you for, Robin. And I'm not just
yeah,
saying this.
yeah, that's what I wanted really to tell people. It doesn't matter how you're born or how God gives the toughest battle to the hardest people. Now, I
100%.
genuinely believe that, and yeah, I just wanted to prove to people that it doesn't matter how you're born, you can turn your life around and try and do something good.
You
And that's
definitely
what,
did that.
that's what I did,
Oh,
so
you definitely did that. I mean, you had 55 fights. I know it wasn't an outstanding record, but records are for DJs. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. A fight is a
that
fight.
is, listen, it is like when people say that, that's the phrase I use, but it's a cliche phrase, but it's very true.
It's very true.
I even when I turned pro with frankwarren, I never said I was going to be a world champion.
Mhm.
I said I'm going to try my best and do what I lived up to do. Never duck a fight, and always turn up the fight,
I
and
remember
obviously looking good.
I remember coming across an article, it was many moons ago, saying that obviously because we're gonna jump a little bit forward here because obviously we will get into what it's like on the road and your first fight because you did win your first pro fight.
I
How?
did, yeah.
Sorry,
Go on. No, no, my fault. Go on.
I did like I say in the article. It says you tried ballet. How?
Hey?
And you tried ballet for your feet.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was an article, something about boxing. Did you box over an island or was Steve Collins watching?
No, I boxed in Jersey as an amateur
Uh,
against a guy called Ben Murray. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Ben
mm.
Murray. He was Jersey's number one kid. I mean, his dad had a lot of money apparently, and everyone loved this geezer out in Jersey. He was shit. I mean, shit. You know, and if he's watching now, I fucking, I tell him, he's shocking. But I went
Blowing
out.
kisses to these misses.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're never going to get a decision, especially as an amateur boxing in Jersey against their favorite kid. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I knew I'd never get a decision. So I just went out there having fun, dropping my hands, blowing kisses, misses, waving to Steve Collins, and I was making him miss more than I was getting hit. Now I use my upper body movement because I have got good head movement. I use that because obviously my legs I can't move out of the way. So I'd use my upper body movement to obviously avoid the punches and whatever. And yeah, I just had fun. I end up losing. Surprise. Yeah, I lost. And yeah, it was just a bit of fun. But then Steve Collins come up to me after he said, I've never seen an amateur fighter mug the geezer off like you mugged him off. And I know you lost, but your head movement is tremendous. He said, keep in touch with me. Here's my phone number. Keep in touch with me. And that was like, I thought it was a flag. I thought, oh, fuck off. I said, talking shit. I mean, like, I didn't think he was honest. And I was working. I remember I was working in a bar and yeah, I had a text message saying, "God, I'd just come back from the Limassol Cup out in Cyprus
Right.
and boxed a guy called Michael Blackburn. He was Scotland's number one. He's really good fighter. I'm surprised I never heard whether he went pro or anything. I never know nothing about him now.
Hmm.
But yeah, Michael Blackburn. I come back and I got a bronze medal. It weren't a proper bronze medal, but I got to the quarterfinals, and I think it's quarterfinals, and yeah, I lost, but I'll give a good account of myself.
Hmm.
And then it's in the boxing news or whatever it was in, and Steve sent me a message. I thought it's Joe, so I phoned him, and yeah, it was. He was right. He wanted me to meet him in Hartford, where he was living at the time, and drive to Frank Warren's. I met him in St Albans at St Albans train station. He picked me up and we went to Frank Warren's office, and I signed the deal with Frank Warren.
What was that like? What was that experience like?
Surreal, mate. It was like Frank Warren was always the big man,
Mm.
especially when I turned pro. He's the big fish. To be fair, he is now. To
He
be
is.
fair,
He's look at the stadium shows that he's putting on. I mean, Eddie Hearn,
exactly.
no offense, but this the zone stuff is not working. You know
Nah,
what I mean?
yeah, and yeah, it was mad. I went into his office and all these people would make me coffee and tea, and I was blessed really. And then Dean Powell come up, took me in
Wow,
with
Dean Powell, God rest
yeah,
his soul.
took, yeah, exactly. He's a good man.
Yeah,
And he took me the best matchmaker. He was. He was.
without a doubt. Very, very well respected on the boxing scene. An absolute legend. An absolute legend.
Yeah, and yeah, he took me in. Then we started talking, and what they offered me for a contract with no. I remember I got to the ABA semi-finals. That was it, losing to Gary Sykes.
Wow.
Um, and he offered me him and Frank Warren offered me a contract. Frank Warren, my manager, and then I'd have to choose a trainer. They wanted me to go with Jimmy Tibbs, but at the
Oh,
time, I had John Mooney when I first turned pro.
mhm.
But then I did end up going with Johnny Eames.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they offered me like 4.5 grand a fight for 3 years. And then after a year, they'd rephrase my contract, and if I'm winning, they'd up the money. But obviously, I won one, lost the rest.
Nah, but like, so do you know when you got offered the 4.5? Like, how did? Because if you could just try and like elaborate on a little bit more, what does that cover? Like the 4.5, do you get all? Is everything insured? Is everything laid out for
Well,
you?
yeah, it wasn't paid out there straight away. I mean, obviously, per fight, I'd get 4.5 grand. I didn't have to sell tickets, but I remember my first two fights sold a lot of tickets. Um, and I'd get 10% on tickets. So yeah, um, I walked away good. First two fights, I walked away with a good whack.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was yeah, like I say, it was. Yeah, I was blessed to actually have met Steve, and he gave me the contract. That
In those
indeed,
first 3 years, you're boxing real good boxers. I mean, you box Ryan Walsh, you've boxed Anthony Crowder, you've boxed Tim Witherspoon. Like throughout your career, you've boxed some really, really good boxers who have went on to win world championships.
yeah, like I always, I always love being thrown in the deep end. Like I say, like I say, I was like my dad. I always wanted to be sort of known. So I thought there was no point in fighting dickheads and
Hmm.
fighting knobs because the best wouldn't come out of me. I mean, I'm not saying I was the best fighter, but the best would always come out of me, and I'd always try a lot more harder when if I'd fight someone that was going to fight back.
Yeah.
So I think I lost my second pro fight against a guy called Ron Crawcliffe, and then he went on. He knocked out my old gym mate Ben Jones in his next fight after beating me. Now I lost by a point, and Ben was knocked out in 2 rounds. I think or 1 round.
Hmm.
And he was a journeyman. He'd only won one fight, and the fight he won, he beat me. And then Ben boxed him, and he knocked Ben out. And Ben went on to win English title, WBO European. Ben was a good fighter,
Hmm.
very good fighter. You know, as an amateur, I was always like fucking the boy. If Ben wasn't in, they'd come and give me a bit of time. You know what I
Right.
mean? So Ben was their number one kid,
Hmm.
and yeah, he knocked Ben out. And then I had because when I lost my second pro fight, Ben phoned me up and he was like, "Oh, start calling out the best, start calling out the best, and then you know get it that way." So I did. I started saying I'll fight whoever. Then I thought, fuck it, let's have a Crawley spot and have a homeboy versus homeboy, Crawley, me and Ben Jones.
Hmm.
And Ben always avoided me. I mean, always avoided me. I'm a bit annoyed that I never actually got to fight him early on in my career. Not
Hmm.
saying now, but early on in my career, because I think I could have caused him damage. Because listen, my record don't say I can knock people out, but I can whack. I've dropped a few people. Vinny Mitchell, God bless him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's passed. Vinny Mitchell, Ryan Taylor, Jason Hasty. Yeah, I dropped a lot of people, and I was never really given. That's why maybe everyone liked watching me box as a journeyman because I'd always come to fight. Most journeymen get a payday and run all around and
You
whatever.
always
But
try to put on a show. I remember
I
watching you
did.
on Sky Sports a few times. You always try to put on a show, Robin. And
Yeah,
that's the
always.
simple fact of the matter. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
How was boxing on Sky Sports like? Was did it, is that in the contract that you've got your broadcaster and stuff like that with Frank? And then
Yeah,
if
it's always in the kind of it's got to be in there. It's
Mhm.
it's just but yeah, it was amazing fighting on Sky Sports. I'd always see kids from my old school, like junior school, people that said that I'd never make it.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not saying I made it big time, but I made it. I made it as best I could with with the obstacles in my way, obviously my feet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think I did myself proud, if I'm honest.
100%. Of course you did, man. 100%. I'm only asking those sort of questions about the contract because you know what? Excuse me. You've already heard the stories of like how Frank did this and Frank did
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean?
Listen,
Was he always straight with you, Robin?
listen, Frank's a straight guy. He'll say what it is there and then. The people that slag him off and say he's done this, he's snaked people, he's not paid people, the checks are bounced. Listen, I had, I was literally Frank Warren's, even though I was his, like, I signed with him and whatever. Even when I left him, just so
Mhm.
people know. I asked my contract back after I lost because I thought I'd be on the back seat.
Yeah.
He'd always put me as an opponent on his shows. I boxed more on his shows than any others. And he's not once not paid me. He's always paid me on time. My checks have never bounced. So when people say the checks have bounced, have they got an issue with Frank? Because Frank is a lovely guy. He's a nice guy.
He does come across that. I mean, I know Eddie Hearn irritates the absolute life out of him, and he's easy to get agitated because he's from the old school. He's not used to the new methods and techniques that they use to get underneath your skin nowadays. How did you use
Listen,
it? How did you used to use that to your effect as well? Because you were a bit of a talker. I remember when Connor Benn was like just starting out. You are giving it to him, rightly so as well for what he did because it
yeah.
was it was terrible. It was terrible what he did. It was bad.
If I'm honest with you, listen, Connor Benn is a wicked fighter. When I don't watch boxing, but when I see clips of him on Instagram, and I think, fuck me, he's class. Like
Mm.
I would have lost against Connor. Do you know what I mean? I would have lost against him. But the thing is, at the time he was coming up, obviously I was fucked anyway. But obviously when he was coming up, it sold. Britain's worst boxer versus former world champion son. It was a It was more for press, really, for me. I'd
Mhm.
love to fight him because he will become a world champion and he is a class fighter. I'm not going to disrespect him because he's a nice guy up until he started disrespecting me. You know, I met him in Essex, when he hadn't even had a pro fight. I met him in a cafe. Um, Yeah, and we were talking and whatever. I thought, oh, he's a nice guy. Anyway, then he started making a name for himself. So I thought, fuck it sells. So, get the fight on. And then when Britain's worst boxer called him out, he got offended and then he carried it on because I only called him out, but he carried it on by fucking putting Instagram videos up and stuff like that, my legs and stuff, and call me happy feet and he said he was young and stupid, but he never actually apologized to me. He's only apologized, but he's never actually apologized to me. Not that I even want one now. I'm not asked it ages ago, but
Mhm.
you know, the damage is done as far as I'm concerned. He's done it. He said it. He's grown up and whatever. At the end of the day, he's just had a kid. Yeah, he's had a kid with his wife. I think her name's Victoria. I'm not sure. Um, but if someone said to him, "Your kid's got happy feet, your kid's this, your kid's that," how would he feel? What I was trying to make the point of is I'm someone else's kid. It doesn't matter whether I'm fucking 28, 29 years old. I'm someone else's kid. So if someone's going to disrespect your kid, how will you feel? Because my dad has feelings as well. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? My family have feelings. So when that all come out of social media and it spread over, you know what social media is like? It's like a fucking news. It's better than the news, if you like.
Mhm.
People don't go on fucking and watch the news. They look on Facebook or look on Instagram to find out what's happening.
100%.
Um, so it went mental, and then yeah, what's done is done. I wish him all the best in his career, but you got to realise, you know, if I turn around and called your kid a name, or disrespected his colour and your colour, how would that affected me going on in my life? I would have got battered on social media, because you know what social media is like. If I
Yeah,
called him a nigger, he would have fucking, everyone would have said, "Oh, that's how I've ordered, that's how I've ordered," it sort of seems like, because he called me happy feet and I got funny feet, they've shoved it under the, you know, behind the door and left it. You know, remember, it's done. It's it's scarred my family, and that's that. You know, you just got to learn to live with it. I have, because I will never ever fight him, obviously. But yeah, if I ever see him face to face, fuck me, there would be hassle, because I wouldn't let him get. You know, he's a class fighter and he can whack, but I would not even let him take the piss at all. I'd make him apologise, and I'd film it
mhm,
making him apologise, just to mug him off. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he mugged me off on that time.
How do you feel about what happened recently with him, with the failed tests, this, that, and the other?
Um, Listen, he's got his team around him. If his team are telling him to take that, then obviously I don't even know what he took, but you know, if they're telling him to take it because it will help you and this and that, don't worry, we had it tested, or then you're gonna take it, because you know you're gonna listen to the people that you're putting your life on the line with, you know, and you know, I think he's innocent. I think he was just trying to bulk up a little bit. You know, I think he's innocent. I think he would have battered Ben as well, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
Sorry,
You
he would
bang.
have he would have battered you back. You know, and yeah, that's that. You know, he done what he done. He's paid the price. Let him crack on with his career now. Leave him alone.
It's a shame we didn't get to see the fight, like, because that is the number one overriding factor. I, I, I was devastated that that fight didn't happen. I kind of took it personal. I don't know why I took it personal, but I was absolutely devastated. I probably took it personal because I had Connor Benn actually beating Eubank, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to see that happen. Do you know what I mean? And I
What,
took
you
it
had a bet?
personal.
Fucking, what was the odds? No, no.
Yeah.
Listen, it was like, listen, he done what he's done, right? I personally didn't think the fight would ever happen. It probably will never happen now. Probably
Mm,
will never happen. I didn't think the fight was going to happen. There was always going to be something standing in the way, whether it be a failed drug test, or one of phone like one of them
yeah.
pulling out, or you know, it's one of them fights where it might happen later on, coming to the end of their career for a bit of money, but we'll never see the peak of Ben and the peak of Eubank. Well, Eubank's fucked now, to be
Mhm.
fair, because my mate
160 is not for him, like.
Nah, my mate Lou Beefy Smith battered him, and I'm glad about that, because the Smith family are close with me. You know, I
Mhm.
like, I've got a lot of time for Stephen, got a lot of time for the whole family, and
Yeah, we just lost you there for a second.
yeah, Grandma just tried ringing me.
Yeah, honestly, mate, we've got like literally 4 minutes left of recording.
Go on.
Um, can we do this again? Can we do this for longer on a different day? Because there's so much that I want to pick your brain about, and I know
Yeah,
I can get a good hour and a half, nearly two
yeah,
hours out here.
yeah, that's cool, no problem.
100%. We'll talk off
Yeah,
camera again, bro. Um,
yeah, definitely.
1,000,000%. I would love to set this up because I feel you've got an absolute story. 100%. There's
Yeah,
more to it, and I would love to get to like delve deeper. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, no, no, that's fine, that's fine. Well, we're gonna stop now, are we?
Yeah, we'll stop now, bro, and
Yeah,
we'll talk off camera, and we'll do this in a few days because that's if you can, that's if you're available,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I,
I'll do it.
I really, really do want I want to get like this out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No problem.
1,000,000%, brother. Right. It's been a pleasure having you on. I'm really sorry that we've got to cut the time because I could sit here all day. Sorry, like I could sit and talk to you all day. You're a
Can you
fascinating.
understand me? I'm not fucking slurring or no?
No, mate. No,
No.
no, no. I can hear you perfectly fine. I can understand you. Do you know what I mean? Like that's and I'm just gutted we've run out of time. I really am gutted.
No. Listen, Lee, that's fine. We do it another day, and
100%. We'll get more out of you because
yeah.
40 minutes is not enough for you,
I've
my
got
man.
loads to say, mate. There's loads to sort of talk about and explain the situations, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
It's not a lot of people know my story and know what I had to go through to get where I was. To
100%.
so it's like, listen, it is what it is, isn't it?
This is why I want to get like say if we could get another one in because there's so many obstacles you've had to hurdles you've had to jump through your career, not just at the start of your career, but in life. And I feel
Yeah.
like you can be an inspiration to some other people in life. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, definitely. Like in 2015, I was stabbed in the back of the neck. You know what I mean? And 3 months later, I went and won my second fight against I can't remember his name now, a Latvian. I went
Oh,
and beat
corner,
Conor
corny
Benn.
loves.
Yeah, Conor, that's it. Yeah, I went and beat him. You know, that was only like 3, 4 months after being stabbed in the back of the neck. It was
Oh,
an inch away from my spinal cord, and I nearly died. Do you know what I
wow.
mean? So, yeah,
We need to get that in.
yeah, there's loads. You know what I mean? Just what you don't know about me, obviously, just do a bit of research or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm sure you obviously know a bit.
Oh,
You know?
I didn't know about the stabbing and then winning your fight after that. I wasn't aware of that, but we'll speak off camera because I'm literally getting warned on the time
Go
now.
on, go on.
So much appreciated for coming on the show,
I'll
mate,
give,
and we'll get
give
you on.
me give me give me an hour, and I'll call you if that's all right. Yeah, we'll just have a chat offline. Yeah.
No worries, my
And
brother. I will
then,
speak soon.
and then we can, then next time we do it, you can sort of, yeah,
Formulated and structure it.
that's it. That's it.
That's the one, my man.
Nice
Brilliant
one, Lee.
speaking to you,
Nice
Robin.
one, David. See you,
See you
mate.
later, my man. Thank you
Ciao,
very
mate.
much.